another episode of Indigo Podcast, and today I'm gonna be talking about 4 lessons I've learned in the past few days. I like doing these videos, just going kind of like an overview of things I've kind of learned and things I've kind of been doing. Because last time I did 5 lessons, but this time I just kind of wanted to keep it at 4, just keep it at 4 lessons, and just kind of tell y'all some lessons I learned, obviously. But first thing, this one's kind of funny to me, ceramic cookware, because recently I've been having issues with, my cookware food burning, sticking, having to like down my skillet pan with baking soda to get marks off. But this kind of made me do a little bit of a deep dive into, okay, I'm obviously doing something wrong, because this has been a reoccurring issue with the other ceramic cookware I've had in the past. Because basically I put the onion, let's say I'm making a scramble, I put onions in whatever in it, and then I put the fava bean tofu, and it would just stick to the pan. I'm like, bro, it's just a vibe killer, because you have to like scrape in the pan, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just throws the whole dish off, even though it still tastes fine, but it's just like you have to scrape, and it's just annoying. So these new ones I got, shout out to my grandma, she lended these to me. They're like non-stick ceramic, that's what I prefer to use, and maybe stainless steel here and there. But anyway, I started using the pans, and I noticed it started sticking a little bit. I'm like, bro, this is not about to happen. So I made this one recipe. I made some sriracha mayo wraps, and like the skillet was burning it was a very aggressive burn. I'm like, okay, I'm doing something wrong here. So I looked it up, and apparently you're not supposed to go over 4. Like, if you cook on a gas dial, it has 1 to high. I was cooking on 5, and also I was dry burning it, and I didn't even know that was a thing, because I thought, because when I would cook with stainless steel, I would heat it up and then put the oil, because that's how you cook with stainless steel. And I just didn't, the switch didn't flip in my mind. I'm cooking with ceramic. You shouldn't dry heat it. So dry heating is basically heating a pan up with no oil, and I've been doing that, and I let it heat up for like a minute or 2 so it could heat up. But in reality, you're supposed to put the oil with the pan and heat it up with the pan, and you're supposed to cook on 3 to 4. And I didn't know that. But now, since I've been implementing that, I haven't had any issues with sticking really at all. My food is cooking very well, and it was a good thing to learn. But yeah, if you cook with ceramic, you should. If you cook on a gas dial, I would stay in the 3 to 4 range. I wouldn't go over 4. 4 is the absolute max. But yeah, I learned that, and I'm very grateful I learned that, because it makes cooking way easier now, and way simpler. But yeah, ceramic cookware, that was a big lesson I learned, and I'm glad I did. But second thing, and this is another big thing I've learned, change does not make you weak. Because I kind of went over it in the vlog. I've seen the last vlog 08. You should go check that out. I kind of went over this in the beginning and the end of it. But recently, I went on this long 6-mile walk, and I was just thinking, just kind of going an overview. Because I would say this past month, like just going into the new year, one of my goals for this year is just to be more intentional and more aware of what I'm actually doing. More in terms of, right now, more in terms of content and lifting. With the running, I feel like it kind of speaks for itself. I know what I need to do for that. Obviously with lifting too and content, but I just felt like based off this walk, there were some things that I was kind of just going over in my head. Some things I've been thinking about, I've kind of like pushed to the side. I'm like, I'm not going to worry about this right now. But basically on the walk, I was like, what if I went down to 4 days on my own, and we do weight room 2 times a week in track period. So the movements that stay the same there are incline, bench, and squat. It's always a variant of that. And incline is the one that stays the exact same. Squat, maybe we do front squat or whatever, but pretty much the variations of these movements are the same. And guess what I had in my own, lifting schedule? I had incline Smith machine, incline squat, hack squat. So I had these movements already in my training. So I thought, and I still think this is very smart, why don't I remove the movements that we're already doing in track period and complement it with movements we don't do, like maybe lat pull down or bicep curls, because we don't really, not even really, rarely we don't train arms or triceps. Triceps is part of your arms. Back at all. So I'm gonna complement it. And that Monday, because typically I would lift there and then go lift on my own, but it's not that I can't do that. I know what I'm capable of. It's just what's the best thing that can make me make better use of my time? You know what I'm saying? So me just lifting at school, and then maybe I can edit a video or edit a vlog or just, catch up on some schoolwork, you know what I'm saying? And then lift the 4 days on my own and hold that standard. But I mean, I've preached about it over and over again, because I think a lot of times with just human beings, like, you'll know something's true and you can tell people that over and over again and get it through to them, but you can't even get it through to yourself. And it takes you, like, you really have to, like, grab yourself, like, bro, like, you're good, like, you can change something, you practice what you preach, you know what I'm saying? So I just think chance could be the thing that could push you to evolve past the plateau or a deep-rooted issue within yourself, such as not trusting yourself and not fully recognizing who you are as a person, not acknowledging how hard you work and your worth. Because I just think, if you're, based off of my experience and just how I've kind of dealt with things, I just realized if you can't change something that really will forge growth and you're just kind of fighting yourself, I think it's more of like a fear. You're like, oh, if I change this, what will other people think? In reality, what's the best for you, and what aligns with your values and what aligns with what you're really trying to do in life? Because at the end of the day, it was funny because it's like this choir thing that's going on. It's like we're singing like this My Girl song or whatever for singing Valentine's or there. Anyway, that's not the point. My friend Callan, shout out to Callan. Well, he wasn't talking about this necessarily, but he was saying you have free will. And I'm like, you're right. Like, technically, it's your life. You have the choice to pick things for the better, or choose to disband things that don't serve you as well, So I just think you really gotta, put things into perspective, because it's, at the end of the day, it is your life. You get to choose things, you get to be real with yourself, and you get to pick things that serve you well, and you get to, like I said, get rid of things that don't serve you well and make changes to adapt. But I just think I was kind of I'm married to approach. I'm like, oh, since I do 5 days, I've been doing that. I need to stick with it because I've just been doing that. In reality, just because you've been doing something for so long doesn't mean that's going to carry you to where you want to be, and doesn't mean it's going to forge growth. But anyway, yeah, I changed up my lifts. Well, the lifts, I didn't change up my lifts. I'm still, because also the thing is, all my movements stayed the exact same. I didn't change any movement stuff. If you're changing movements and stuff and changing the amount of sets, and okay, that's when stuff gets a little dicey. But if you're just rearranging your split, going from 5 to 4, it's not too big of a difference. I don't really think it's honestly, now that I break it down to y'all, it's literally nothing. Like, it's not that big of a difference. I'm essentially doing the same exact thing. So, but I think when you take things serious, you can be a bit stubborn and you can get a little down on yourself and be kind of trying to overanalyze things. In reality, when you say it out loud, you're like, bro, why was I even tripping about this? I just wasted time thinking about that instead of just doing. But anyway, I just think change doesn't make you weak. And a lot of times, like, I noticed this week, you got to change things to open up more opportunities for yourself and continue to forge growth and continue to make time for things that you deem important to you. But anyway, third thing I want to go over is no one else can tell you to live. And in life, as I mentioned time and time again, there are some core principles like consistency, discipline, intentionality, but the methods behind the madness varies greatly from person to person. Because I've said it time and time again. There's, like I just said, there's principles, but the way you eat, the shoes you wear, your running form, how many days a week you run, how many days a week you lift, if you make content or not, this varies from person to person. But the principles behind them, like consistency, you just being consistent with it, all of this is the same thing, but the method behind it is different. But I just think there obviously are some podcasts and YouTube videos or just some in-person interactions you can have and should have with others to get to the bottom of problems you're having in life. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, what do I really want in life? What do I really want to do? Because I've realized a lot of times just growing up and, now I've asked people, oh, what do you think? Oh, what should I do? In reality, I feel like a lot of times people ask people, oh, what should I do? And they know the answer, but they just want to get like gratification and get the okay and feel like they're worth enough because someone else, gave them the green light on something. In reality, you already knew what to do. You just wanted to get gratified from someone else. And I've realized that just for me personally, I already know the answer. I already know what, honestly, people have a gut feeling. You kind of know, obviously the gut feeling is 100% accurate, but I feel like a lot of times we second guess ourselves and we're like, I'm not really sure, so I'm about to ask old dude to see if he agrees with it and if he is going to praise me for it. In reality, I think a lot of people know what they want to do and how they should kind of go about it. And if you go with that and you mess up, then you messed up and you learn from it. So the concepts are few, but the methods are many. You have to choose what will work best for you and will actually help you grow, evolve, adapt, and learn in life. And I just think a lot of people get discouraged when someone's doing something different than them, and that's okay. I mean, it's just at the end of the day, the question is, what do you really want to do? And what are you willing to obsess over, and what are you willing to sacrifice, and what non-negotiables are you willing to set for yourself to get there? And obviously that is going to vary from person to person, and it's not a thing of, trying to chase someone else or do better than someone else. It's just, all right, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to get after? And what do you want to do? What do you want out of life? What do you want your life to look like? And what's the picture you want to paint? But anyway, fourth thing I want to go over, the fourth lesson. Well, actually, no. I want to stay on number 3 because I wanted to mention this too. I mentioned this in the vlog if you didn't watch it, but I think with the sacrifices, because I remember before I recorded that end portion of it, there's this clip in this Nick Bear video I was watching. He's talking about anti-goals, and basically anti-goals are goals. Well, it's obviously the opposite of a goal. It's a goal that, it's not a goal, but it's just a guide to your goals, things that you're not willing to sacrifice to get to something, So for me, this is my health. This is being consistently good. This is my running. This is my lifting. Pretty much just running and lifting, basically my training. I'm going to put it in a bracket. So my health, my training, nutrition, stuff like that. That's stuff I'm not willing to sacrifice for anything. So for you, maybe that's, I don't know, not taking your dog out for a walk. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's your family. That's another big one. Your faith. Things that you're not willing to sacrifice just to get to a certain point. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like he said in his video, these anti-goals shift the trajectory of your goals and shift what you're going to pick for your goals. And it helps identify, okay, this is what I want to focus on, and this is what I don't want to focus on. This is where I want to put my energy, and this is where I don't want to put my energy. So I mean, I haven't wrote this out, but I just know kind of in my head what my anti-goals are. Maybe you know in your head what your anti-goals are, but I just think having these kind of, I guess, core principles and core values and core things that you're not really willing to budge on in your head when you're going after goals. And once you have that set in stone, you can really get after and really go after them and really double down and really focus on it. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to kind of mention that too. I think that goes perfectly what I was trying to say, that no one else can tell you how to live. No one else can tell you what you're not willing to sacrifice, what you're willing to sacrifice. No one else can make that decision for you. And I just think a lot of things we might ask other people, try to get a blueprint of things, but I think a lot of times the best thing to do is just to go for it and just see what happens and fail and succeed and just go through the wave of emotions that comes with just enduring a process and going through life. So anyway, I wanted to extend that part a little bit because I just think anti-goals are really important, and I think that's something I need to look into as well, because this can go into things you say yes and no to, because I just realized you can't say yes to everything. You probably shouldn't say no to everything, because there's certain opportunities that might, really push the needle. But anyway, I'm going to go on to the fourth thing, is you need to trust yourself. I just realized that trust is a big necessity and strength going through life, and kind of like I mentioned earlier, if you don't trust yourself, you'll second guess your actions. You'll feel like an imposter. You won't fully acknowledge who you are and what you stand for. And I just think, I'm speaking a lot for me personally, but maybe you relate to this. A lot of people do a lot of cool things. Like, maybe they hit a new marathon PR, hit a half marathon PR. And I just think a lot of people, I think trusting yourself, I think a lot of the blinding, like the things that blind you from trusting yourself comes from comparing yourself to others and being too interested in what other people are doing. And I just think when you're too interested in what other people are doing, it makes it seem like what you did means nothing. It's insignificant. In reality, that's a whole different person, and you shouldn't be trying to look for holes in their character and, go after them and compete with them and do better than them. And just when you do better than them, say you did better than them. There's a lot of, saying the same thing, but I just think a lot of it comes from focusing too much on other people, not obsessing over what you got going on. And I just think, obviously, with social media, that's a lot. I think being on social media isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think it could be detrimental when you're focusing too much on what other people are doing and, trying to get other people basically trying to explain yourself to other people as to why you're doing something. In reality, you don't need to explain yourself. You just need to, honestly, you shouldn't even need to explain yourself, because people will see it when it plays out. You just have to stick with the process of being consistent and just know within yourself, and have integrity within yourself of what you're doing and what you're trying to get after. Because obviously, I think you should keep chasing things, but once, you pop out and it's very visible of what you've done, you don't have to explain anything. The work will explain itself. So I feel like this goes perfectly with change. If you don't trust yourself, you won't be able to pull the plug on things that aren't serving you well, and you won't be able to implement slight or even major changes to keep the ball rolling. And obviously for me, with my lifting schedule, I would say I know some things, but I don't know. It's like a hesitance. You're like, oh, what if? It's like a whole lot of what ifs coming to your mind. Like, what if this happens? What if this person says this? Or what if this? Like, at the end of the day, bro, just go for it. What's the worst what's the best? Not even the worst. What's the best that could happen out of this? Because reality, a lot of times, because another thing too that I didn't want to change at first, I kind of mentioned this a little bit in the vlog, is me going on a little mini bulk, because I've never done that. It's just the I don't know. It was kind of, it's a big change. I've never done that. So I was kind of like, whoa, what are we doing here? So, but the funny thing is, when I finally pulled the plug on it and I finally, added some calories to my diet, all the weights went up, all the strength went up. So obviously it's not going to be linear, but it's just funny how literally right when I did that, it just changed like that. And for you too, it could be maybe at night, maybe not, overthinking, or maybe implementing more whole foods into your diet, or maybe getting into running or getting into lifting. It could be that one change that really changes the trajectory of your life. And I just think a lot of times we get in our own ways and we get so married to approaches, and we get kind of robotic, and we're like, oh, I don't want to change this, I'm a little bit scared. In reality, that fear, it could be the lever that you pull and changes your whole life, but I just think you need to trust yourself to really love yourself and really be able to fully follow through what you want to do, and fully be content and be, okay with who you are as a person and the things you're going after. Because I think if you don't trust yourself, you're going to try and find that trust within others, and you're going to try and find that with other people and other things instead of within you. But anyway, that was just kind of just 4 lessons I've learned, just giving y'all a raw, overview how I felt about them and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, that's the episode. Right now it's Sunday and it's supposed to snow Tuesday, so that would be kind of cool. But anyways, yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this one, but hope y'all enjoyed the episode. I love y'all, and I'm gonna see y'all next time.